Coming up next on Newswatch.
The state of Ohio is preparing for possible school shootings. And an uptown business is raising money to help fix a window after falling victim to vandalism for the 7th time.
And in sports, much of Ohio saw snow over the weekend. Find out how that affected Ohio baseball and softball. Newswatch starts right now.
Broadcasting live from WOUB TV in Athens. This is Newswatch.
The state of Ohio is preparing schools against open shooters. Good evening, I'm Catherine Blaine. Thanks for joining us. New rules to keep your kids safe in case of an active shooter. The State Building Standards Board now allows schools to put up portable barricades in case of an emergency. Some devices slide under doors, others attach to door handles. The devices gained popularity after the Sandy Hook Elementary School shooting. Ohio is among 5 states that updated fire and building codes to allow for the devices. The Blue Eagle Music Shop is in the process of fixing one of its windows after it was vandalized this past weekend. Friends of the owner of Blue Eagle, Frank McDermott, created a GoFundMe account to help pay for the store's broken window. McDermott says it happened between Saturday night and Sunday morning from Palmerfest. This isn't the first time a Blue Eagle window has been broken, and over $2,000 has already been raised. An Airbnb may be a hot commodity for vacations right now, but not in Athens. The national organization Generation Opportunity hosted a panel discussion about the benefits of Airbnb, but services like Airbnb are violations of the Athens City Code. Athens currently has 2 officially approved bed and breakfasts, and City Council is discussing policy changes for these businesses. According to the Airbnb website, there are 11 Athens homes listed for rent. And Athens Middle School is one of the 3 Ohio schools to receive the Support Music Merit Award. The award recognizes exceptional music education programs in grade schools. The board of the program evaluates schools based on funding, staffing, and participation in musical programs. Districts and schools previously recognized by this honor have said this recognition significantly increases interest in funding for their music programs. And Athens County law enforcement has now dealt with 21 methamphetamine manufacturing operations since the first of the year. The latest find involves 2 suspects. Joshua F. Little and Ryan Shipley were taken into custody after deputies searched their properties. Plastic bottles with tubing attached, chemically activated coal packs, lithium batteries, and drain cleaner were found during the investigation. Both suspects are being held at the Southeastern Ohio Regional Jail. The appeal of a Guysville man convicted of stabbing a neighbor is moving on to oral arguments. Jerry Noble was convicted in 2014 of 2 counts of assault and was sentenced to 8 years in prison. Noble says the court failed to instruct the jury of a lesser offense and also failed to order restitution. The Athens County prosecutor says the court is correct.
Welcome to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Dalton Lochran. After a cold weekend, we saw some snow flurries around Saturday and Sunday. We're going to see that warm up as we look currently in the region. 57 degrees here in Athens as the cold front starting to move through the area. We'll see the rain linger off by the end of tonight. As we look at temperatures around the region, we'll see 57 degrees here in Athens as well as most of the region. 73 down in Ironton. As we wait for that cold front to move through, we'll see the same temperatures there drop. Overnight tonight, we'll see that rain linger off by 4 a.m. We'll see a slight drizzle or 2 with 42 degrees. Now back over to you, Blaine, and the weather news. Sorry.
All right, well, thank you, Dalton. Look forward to seeing you later on in our broadcast. 3 men face charges for smuggling teens into the U.S. and keeping them as slaves. The men allegedly took custody of the victims at the border and then forced them to work at an egg farm here in Ohio. Federal agents raided a trailer park in 2014 and rescued 10 of the young and enslaved Guatemalans. The 3 men have taken plea agreements. And the city of Dayton is banning its employees from non-essential government travel to Mississippi and North Carolina. The ban comes after laws passed in those 2 states that Dayton officials say discriminate against the LGBT community. Dayton Mayor Nan Whaley says the new laws conflict with the city's values as well as discrimination ordinances enacted by city commissioners. I asked some Ohio University students their thoughts on Dayton's ban today.
I think it would have to move to higher level employees. And there would also have to be the question of how are these municipalities and cities collaborating. But yeah, I do think that this statement in itself could help.
Like, I didn't necessarily know that like places like that still had practice like that, so I think it definitely can like help move the conversation forward, and especially with an active action like this.
And now Ohioans are seeing an average gas price of more than $2 per gallon going into the work week. The price per gallon in Ohio is about $2.02 based on a survey released today. That's up 13 cents from the state average this time last month, but still 35 cents below the average cost a year ago. The national average price is also down 35 cents from this time last year. In April 2015, the average was $2.39, but today it's only $2.04. A mother and her young daughter were killed in a wrong-way crash between two cars in Texas over the weekend. In the other car, another mother and her daughter were also killed. Dan Haggerty visited a vigil for one of the families grieving their loss.
The lighting of candles has many meanings. In the case of Tita Schaffer, perhaps a literal one.
She lit up any room that she was in.
Pastor Chris Searcy at Liberty Christian School in Argyle organized what would be a very difficult night for a lot of people.
An email went out about 2 hours ago about this, and there's over 300 people here. There's a lot of love here.
Tita and her mother, Emma Schaffer, died Saturday after a head-on collision on Highway 377, crashing with another car headed in the opposite direction, just down the road from Liberty, where sixth grader Tita was in preschool when her mom first dropped her off.
She's one of those moms that's just kind of at everything, and her daughter was made in her image for sure.
At the crash site, more tears and disbelief. And this sign, Emma strong and Tita tough, words describing the people they lost, who the community will have to emulate to move forward.
I'm gonna miss the most her smile and how she'd always be there for you, and how she would just walk in and just, you'd know that you'd feel loved by her and her mom.
The medical examiner's office has identified one of the other victims as 4-year-old Lorelei Cotter. Friends identified the final victim as her mother, Ashley Morgan. The cause of the crash is still under investigation, and authorities do not believe alcohol or speeding were factors. Now, here in Ohio, state transportation records show wrong-way crashes have already caused twice the amount of deaths in 2016 than all of 2014. There have been 16 deaths so far in 2016 and only 7 deaths in 2014. Non-fatal wrong-way crashes also rose 20% from 2014 to 2015. Officials say those are mostly due to drunk or confused drivers getting on exits the wrong way, as opposed to intentional crashes. The Inspector General can now audit the books of the fundraising wings of colleges and universities. University foundations are typically private, nonprofit entities that raise and distribute money to their respective universities. Ohio Attorney General Mike DeWine said foundations can be audited because they are established for the exercise of a function of government. And coming up next on Newswatch, Secretary of State John Kerry visits Hiroshima. That story, plus a temple fire in India, killed over 100 people this weekend. We'll have the latest on these stories and more when Newswatch returns.
Really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything. Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us. Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Welcome back. Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton lead the polls in New York and Pennsylvania. Among the Republican voters who were surveyed in New York, 54% picked Trump. 22% sided with John Kasich, and 15% said they'd vote for Ted Cruz. Trump had similar results in Pennsylvania, where he clinched a 48% lead to Kasich and Cruz. Now, on the Democratic side, 53% of primary voters in New York said they're more likely to choose Clinton over Bernie Sanders. And in Pennsylvania, Clinton topped Sanders with a 49% lead. Now, a lot of news coming out of Asia today. We'll start in China, where university students look very different than they did 30 years ago. They listen to Western music, dress in Western clothes, and study at Starbucks using their iPads and MacBooks. So the Chinese government is trying to win over their hearts and minds. And as Matt Rivers shows us, that begins in the classroom.
Chairman Mao is like the sun. He guides the people forward. We will always follow Chairman Mao. Patriotic lyrics from an old revolutionary song about communist China's famous founder fill the air in this Beijing park. Dozens gather each week, singing loud and proud about the motherland. But notice the faces here, most older, some middle-aged, but hardly any young people. So where do you find the next generation of communists? That would be here, in a Starbucks, studying a government-approved textbook on socialism while checking social media on a smartphone. This is Zheng Zhihao, 20 years old and part of a new generation of Chinese set to inherit a country very different than it was 30 years ago. He and his classmates at Renmin University are exposed to more of the world and have grown up in a more open society. Yet he's applying to become a member of the largest political party in the world.
Becoming a Communist Party member is the best choice for me. I hope to become a member to achieve my personal goals and dreams.
And he's not alone. The party boasts more than 2 million students amongst its 88 million members. But all students, party members or not, sit through classes like this one. A mandatory lecture course where students are taught the value of a socialist government. Some might call it propaganda, others might just find it boring. And outside the classroom, the education continues. Interns are often required to write essays about their internships. Some of the questions they can answer: how did their employer practice and cultivate socialist core values? And how did their time spent at that employer help strengthen the Communist Party? It's all an effort from ruling party elites to instill pro-socialist values in the younger generation, even if some admit the system isn't perfect. Zheng points to the country's large income gap and lack of free speech as issues he might one day tackle, but thinks the current government is best equipped to make positive change. It's something the older generation likely agrees with. This song is about how China will survive forever, something that can only happen if young people are on board. Matt Rivers, CNN, Beijing.
Thanks, Matt. Well, now on to Japan. Secretary of State John Kerry is visiting Hiroshima today. Kerry paid his respects to all those who lost their lives when America dropped a nuclear bomb on the city in 1945, which brought World War II to a close. However, Kerry emphasized that his trip wasn't meant to focus on the past. Instead, he and other G7 leaders were meeting to discuss concerns over North Korean nuclear usage.
Every one of us expressed our concern about the North Korean provocative behavior in recent months, and together we issue a call on the DPRK to refrain from actions and rhetoric that further raises the tensions of the region.
And finally, over to India. There's now a criminal investigation into Sunday's deadly fire at a temple in southern India. Police have detained 5 people for questioning and are seeking at least 10 more in connection with the incident. Authorities say an errant firework ignited a stockpile of other fireworks at the temple during celebrations for the Hindu New Year. More than 100 people died, and more than 500 others were injured. Police say the temple did not have permission for the firework display that led to the tragedy. And on Wall Street today, the stock market began a week lower than it should. Here's a look at stocks of local interest.
And after a wet day today, we'll possibly see a dry out in our temperatures, a dry out for the rest of our week with warmer temperatures on the way. All that in my extended forecast coming up after the break.
Body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Welcome back to the Newswatch Weather Center. I'm Dalton Lochran. Currently in Athens, it's 57 degrees. Winds southwest at 7 miles per hour with our dew point at 54 degrees. If we look throughout the region right now, we'll see 57 degrees for most of our region, 73 down Ironton, still waiting on that cold front with the rain to push through. We'll see a quick drop in those temperatures there. If we look at our almanac, we're right around average for this time of year at 64 degrees for today. Average is 65. We saw our sunrise this morning was at 6:56 at a.m. Sunsets at 8:02. See those days starting to get longer. As we see right now in the area, we see this cold front right now in our region starting to push through. There'll be a light drizzle for the rest of the evening. No thunderstorms, nothing to be concerned with. This high pressure system will set in our area for tomorrow, as we'll see a high pressure system stick around for the end of the week. Won't see much rain showers anymore after tonight. 37 degrees for our low tonight. 36 up in Cambridge with our state capital at 35. Ironton's at 41. Rain will stick around till about 4 a.m. tonight. 54 degrees for our high tomorrow with 51 up in Cambridge, 52 in New Martinsville. As we look overnight tonight here in Athens, 37 degrees with a light drizzle. It'll be chilly with that rain, so probably want to just stay indoors, maybe go to sleep early tonight. 39 degrees for our temperature tomorrow at the bus stop around 7 a.m. Calm, partly cloudy skies. Those partly cloudy skies will eventually move through. We'll see clear skies for the midday for tomorrow. 38 around 8 a.m. tomorrow. 47 degrees, then warming up to about 52 by 4 p.m. Like I said, clear skies throughout the whole day tomorrow. 54 for our high here in Athens. Calm, mostly sunny. Might get a light breeze here and there with winds north 5 to 10 miles per hour. As we look for our week, we don't see any clouds or any rain, which is beautiful for this time of year. 60 degrees on Wednesday, warming up to almost 70 for this weekend. Saturday and Sunday, we'll see 70 degrees and almost 75 on Sunday. Monday's looking at 74. By the start of next week, we will see those rain showers come in, so enjoy this dry out. Now over to you, Blaine, in the weather news.
All right, well, thank you, Dalton. Hey, it was freezing here yesterday, but it was warmer in Mexico, and they took advantage of the warm weather. Nearly 5,000 cyclists in Mexico City celebrated World Bicycle Day yesterday. The purpose for the ride was to foster the use of bicycles as a mode of transportation for its many health benefits as well as its conserving of the environment. I'm glad to see that we have warmer weather coming up this week. Maybe I'll head out there and bring my bike out here in Athens too. So now Sean Neidig, he's over in our sports zone over here. So Sean, you know, with all these warmer temperatures, I bet that some of these OU sports teams are getting excited to get out there and actually enjoy the warm weather.
Yeah, they certainly are, and great weather coming in, but they had to make this past weekend to get here. I'll have a recap of that series against Buffalo coming up. And also, Ohio softball ran into some snow up north, but that didn't freeze their bats. That's coming up more next on Newswatch. And stay tuned to WOUB. Here's a look at what's coming up tonight on your public television station.
Really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us. Ohio University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.
The student body here at Ohio University absolutely is a family.
The students support one another.
You become this unit, this big, friendly family unit.
There's this connectedness.
You feel a part of something.
Driving in on the highway and just seeing the red bricks and the trees again, it's just like coming back home.
There's great students, great professors.
You just walk around campus and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe I go here.
I feel like I matter in the community, and I feel like I matter here at Ohio University.
It's home. Athens is home. My professors really care. They care about my grades, they care about my opportunities, they care about my experiences, they want me to succeed.
They give those opportunities to the students.
My professors have been extremely approachable.
Literally, their door is always open.
You can go to them with pretty much anything.
Everyone knows your first and your last name and where you sit in the classroom.
I really never feel like I'm being talked down to or just being taught material. I always feel like I'm having a conversation.
And they want to share those opportunities and those experiences with us.
Good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Sean Neidig. The Ohio State Buckeyes will be playing their annual spring game this upcoming Saturday, and former Athens High School quarterback Joey Burrow will go into the game as the Buckeyes' backup. Both head coach Urban Meyer and QB coach Tim Beck have said that this week and game will be important if Burrow wants to be JT Barrett's backup for the regular season. And now, in some unfortunate news, there's a new update in the murder of former Ohio State and New Orleans Saints player Will Smith. Smith was shot and killed on Saturday night by Cardell Hayes. And although the police don't think the two knew each other, they were connected through a New Orleans police officer. William Saravello, the officer, was named in a 2006 lawsuit filed by Hayes after Hayes' father was shot by police. Saravello and Smith were friends, and the two had dinner together on Saturday night. Police aren't sure if that played a role in the killing. Now, making a little bit of an awkward transition here, football fans in Athens were able to get their first look at the 2016 Ohio football team on Saturday at the annual Green and White game at Peden Stadium. The game is a competition between the Bobcats' offense and defense and uses an adjusted scoring system to name a winner. This year, the defense won 62-18, and former Trimble High School standout Jacob Coons was the star. Coons had 6 tackles on the afternoon. He had 1 sack and forced a fumble. This game marks the end of spring practice. So the 30-degree temperatures and snow may seem about right for football, but not so much for baseball. The Ohio baseball team was scheduled to play on Saturday, but that game was postponed because of the weather. So they played a doubleheader yesterday. Ohio beat the Buffalo Bulls in both games, 3-1 in the first and 6-5 in the second. Today, Ohio third baseman John Adrian was also named the Mid-American Conference East Division Player of the Week. Adrian hit .375 with 2 home runs and 7 RBI in 4 games this past week. Adrian was also named the Ohio Male Scholar Athlete of the Week. So baseball eventually got all of their games in this weekend, but the softball team wasn't so lucky. Ohio was on the road up in Toledo to take on the Golden Flashes and won 2 games on Friday by a combined score of 12-2. Heavy snowfall in the area caused 1 game to be canceled, so the Bobcats got themselves a series sweep. Savannah Joe Dorsey and Morgan Gino were also named MAC Pitcher and Hitter of the Week, respectively. The Bobcats will be back in action on Wednesday for 1 game at Kent State. And on Saturday, Ohio University was also home to the All-Ohio Track and Field Championships, and the Bobcats took the overall meet win with 244 points. 14 teams competed in 21 events on Saturday, and the Bobcats scored 102 more points than second-place Ashland. The Bobcats finished in first in 9 events. Ashley Billheimer also won the javelin throw, and also named the Scholar Athlete of the Week for the women. And Ohio is hoping for warmer weather this upcoming week at the Charlotte Invitational on Saturday and Friday, starting on Friday in North Carolina. And just because the Masters finished up yesterday doesn't mean that people aren't aiming down those fairways. It may not be Augusta, but the Ohio men's golf team traveled to the Old White TPC golf course in West Virginia for the Greenbrier Invitational. The team is playing 36 holes today and the final 18 tomorrow. Bobcats are currently tied for 9th place with a team score of 21 over par. And a little bit of breaking news coming in. Josh Gordon apparently failed a drug test, so that might push his reinstatement back to the NFL. Coming up, we'll bring you updates with that coming up on Newswatch a little later in the week when we get them. Back to you, Catherine.
All right, thanks, Sean. Well, they love us unconditionally. Now it's our turn to show them how much we care. Today is National Pet Day. Whether you have a dog, cat, horse, turtle, fish, give them some extra love today. So, Dalton, let's toss it over to you for a final look at weather.
Thank you, Catherine. So we look right now here in Athens, 57 degrees. Like that light drizzle, like I said, is going to last till about 4 a.m. tonight. Winds are at southwest at 7 miles per hour. As we look throughout the region, 57 degrees with low 60s everywhere else. As we look at high 60s for the end of the week, lower 70s Sunday and Monday. Now back to you, Catherine, and news.
And that does it for our broadcast this evening. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Catherine Blaine. Stay tuned for PBS. The news hour is coming up next. And remember, you can find the latest news anytime you need at WOUB.org. And as always, have a great night.
University students really have a huge sense of pride in our campus, in our school, and in our education.
People don't come to Ohio just to go to college. They come here to become a Bobcat.
It's a really unique atmosphere.
Bobcat pride is having that natural camaraderie.
Bobcats are just happy to be Bobcats.
My favorite time of year at Ohio has to be homecoming.
When the alumni come back, you can see that the love of this university doesn't fade.
Once you're a Bobcat, you're always a Bobcat.